He was more than a heavyweight champion, more than a preacher, a businessman, or a face on a grill. George Foreman was a symbol of reinvention, of resilience. From Olympic gold to world champion, from retirement to comeback, from fighter to pastor, George Foreman lived a life of many rounds. But even for champions, the final bell must come. It was a quiet morning in the outskirts of Houston. On a 40-acre property lined with trees and a modest church chapel built with his own hands, 76-year-old George Foreman woke, as he always did, early. By 6:30 a.m., he had already completed his morning devotions. A King James Bible sat open beside his recliner, his reading glasses perched at the edge of his nose. His longtime assistant, Marcus Bell, arrived shortly before 7 a.m. with his usual breakfast: grits, scrambled eggs, and turkey sausage. Foreman preached a brief but heartfelt message that morning to a private gathering of family and close friends. It wasn't planned. The words were simple, profound. After the service, George walked the grounds with a few of his grandchildren, laughing as he taught them how to throw a jab. He posed for photos with fans, always the showman, and always kind. Despite his age, Foreman still enjoyed hitting the bag lightly. That day, he spent about 20 minutes inside his home gym, revisiting old routines. He wore a red Everlast hoodie and white sweatpants. His breathing was heavier than usual. At 3:15 p.m., Foreman called his longtime friend and former opponent, Larry Holmes. They spoke for 10 minutes. Holmes later shared that George was reflective, grateful, and unusually emotional. George returned to his recliner and turned on a recording of his 1994 fight against Michael Moore, the bout that marked his legendary comeback at age 45. He told his nurse, who had just arrived for her regular check-in. At 5:10 p.m., he called out for Marcus, "Turn that up, I love this part." Moments later, his breathing slowed. He leaned back, closed his eyes, and let out a long sigh. His chest stopped rising. The nurse immediately checked his pulse. None. CPR was performed as paramedics were called. The ambulance arrived within 10 minutes. But George Foreman, Olympic gold medalist, two-time world champion, preacher, father of 12, was pronounced dead at 5:29 p.m. cause cardiac arrest. He died peacefully in his home, surrounded by the voices of family and his past triumphs echoing from the television.